Today we're going to be making a braised lamb shank with a lean cut of lamb leg that's braised in red wine and veal stock.
Braising is both dry and wet cooking. So in the dry cook, we also can brown the meat, which allows for reducing the fat as well.
So I have a nice fresh leek here. I'm going to cut the root end off. This leek's been washed very well.
And the bouquet garni is really wonderful because while it doesn't offer calories, it's very aromatic and it allows us to get all of this flavor without the addition of more salt in our dish.
So here I've cut it halfway through, and that's enabling me to pull out, remove these layers, which is going to enclose our bouquet. And I'll bundle this up all together and place it into the inside of my first layer of leek.
Lamb is a great source of protein. While we're reducing the fat, we're also getting a lot of iron and protein. There's about 25 grams of protein per serving.
So I have my leek. Where the cut end is, I'll cover the cut end with more leek. And then I'll repeat that with another piece of leek. I have my braiser. It's nice and hot. And I'm going to add a little bit of oil.
So what's important here is that it's a deep dish and that it has a lid so that you can seal it as well. And then by browning, it helps to, again, we're rendering off the fat, reducing the total fat and saturated fat associated with this dish.
So what we're doing here is we're developing flavor, so it's important to get a good sear on your lamb. It seals in all the juices and helps with the cooking process, also develops the flavor of the braise. Don't worry about the fat or the oil we're using. You do use a good amount. That'll get strained off and can be removed as you cook. So we'll sear the meat on all sides, nice and evenly, making sure a nice color. So now I have all my vegetables in. I'm going to add some red wine. We'll add our prepared veal stock. You can use beef broth from the store. This is homemade. And you can see that I'm pretty much submerging the lamb in the liquid. That's important, so it cooks evenly. Let the lamb rest in the braising liquid until it gets to about a little hotter than room temperature. So to clean the lamb, I'll have some clean plates. There's a couple large mussels. It breaks apart very easily. It's cooked nicely, and I'll pick away any fat. This is a very clean piece of lamb, and kind of keep the meat in chunks. While our sauce is reducing, we're going to make our potato bones. I have some Yukon Gold potatoes. I'm going to cut the sides off of my potatoes, and then I will take my knife very carefully. I'm going to turn it. I'll trim it up a little bit to about 2 inches in length. I'll take my apple core and I'll punch it out. All right, I'll save all these potatoes for roasted potatoes or mashed potatoes. We'll put our bones in water or vegetable stock. Real gentle heat. I have a pinch of salt in the pot, and I'm just going to cook them really low and slow. We'll know that they're cooked all the way when they're just tender enough to insert a paring knife with a little bit of resistance.
You could use vegetable stock to help create that creaminess to your mashed potatoes as well. Again, looking at ways that we can have alternate ingredients to reduce our saturated fat.
So my potatoes are heated through. I'll put those off to the side. Let me heat up my vegetables. Turnips, blanched green beans, fresh peas, asparagus, and then I'm going to reheat my lamb in the sauce.
We eat for the joy of a plate, and this really brings just both mashed potato and boiled potato, the very texture that really helps enhance people's appetite as well.
You can see I added a little bit of the mashed potato inside the bone. That's the marrow.
Very clever.
And now comes the vegetables. Just place my vegetables, in and around the lamb. We'll finish with a few of our cherry tomatoes. And lastly, I like to garnish with just some fresh herbs, just a chervil. There you have it, braised lamb osso buco with fresh baby vegetables and a Yukon Gold potato bone.